In the previous video, we learned how to move around our file system and we learned how to install a package. Let's keep going. Okay, so we know how to navigate around. We know how to install software. What's next? So the next thing that we should probably look at is how to find our log files in case there's any issues. So where are all the logs stored on FreeBSD? Well, helpfully, they're installed in one place, right here, var log. And there's one that I usually turn on, which I find extremely useful. So we'll do that now, and that'll allow everything to be logged to one log. We're going to use my favorite editor, which is Pico. We're going to go /etc syslog.conf, and we're going to find the all. Uncomment that one, and as you can see, it tells you what to do with it as well. So we'll go exit out, which on Pico is Control-X every time. So let's become root, because we learned that in the last video as well. Helps if I remember my password, doesn't it? And let's go etc syslog.conf and uncomment Control-X to exit out of Pico, and then we want to go touch var log all.log as it says there, and then chmod, and I'll cover chmod in a little while, 600 var log all. We'll need to restart syslog. So etc, actually let's do it this way, src syslog d, I think. Let's be just syslog them. No. I will do it my usual way then. Let's restart it. There we go. Clear all that. So now, if we go into var log, you'll see the all.log there. Yeah. So the first tool that is really helpful for just looking at logs is one called tail. And what that basically does is just follow what's being inputted into that log. Tail -f all.log. There you go. And it's showing us what's going on in that log. Now these ones, I believe, are from messages, but that's fine. So there we go. That's the next one. That's the next command that is really, really helpful in just diagnosing anything that may or may not go wrong. So for instance, we can tail messages. There you go. Loads going on. These are probably most of the ones that were happening on startup. There's the bad SU from when I just put in the wrong password. Good stuff. So you can diagnose anything that's going on just by looking in the logs. As I said just now, chmod. So let's go man chmod, and it will tell you what it is. The chmod utility modifies the file mode bits of the listed files as specified by the mode operator. All right, so here we go. So if I do an LL, which gives us the ch mode on the left, don't worry about trying to read this at the moment, because it's all kind of strange. So if I create a file just for this purpose, let's call it test.txt, and we'll open it, and we'll just put in one line. You'll see it at the bottom now. So this is basically just created a file with standard permissions, which is read, write for that particular user. Nice and simple. Now say I want this to be read by somebody else. Can I do that? Yeah, of course I can. So I can go chmod plus read. Oh, helps if I do it right, doesn't it? There we go. So if I now do an LL on it, it's exactly the same, because it would be. And chmod, let's scan through until we find what we're looking for. So here we go. It gives you some options. There we go. Allow read by others. So if I do chmod 0004 So if I come out of there, so I'm now Gary again. It's letting me read it like that. So I can now read that file. Like I say, chmod takes a bit to get your head around it. So we're not going to cover it in too much detail here, but you can look up things like a chmod calculator, which will tell you how to do things. For instance, here is a chmod calculator. It says Linux permissions, but it works on pretty much any Unix operating system. So read, write, and execute for you. Usually you would have group read, root, and public read. So there you go, 744 is what we want. So 744, let's try that. Let's become root again. There we go, so we want chmod 744. List it. There we go. And it has actually done it to where we want. So it's read, write, and executable by the owner. It's read by the group, and it's read by others. See that, how it's broken down there? Read, write, executable, RWX, read, read. Chmod calculators, very handy. There's a little star there. I assume that's because of the executable. Let's see if we can change that. Minus X. There you go. Read, write, read, read. That's what we wanted. Which, interestingly enough, is probably the standard permission when creating a file. So if I now create another file, test1 txt, there you go. So it was already allowing that. Like I said, permissions on Unix, a funny beast. But get yourself familiar with a chmod calculator, and after a while, it'll be second nature to you. So for instance, read, write, executable by everybody 777. So we've looked at permissions, we've looked at tailing. I've found, it's a general rule of thumb, the two things that usually go wrong are always stated in a log and are usually solvable by permissions. Not always the case, but that's what I have found. So moving along, what's next? In one of my previous videos, I've covered the rc.conf, and we'll just briefly go over it here because this is the file that controls pretty much everything about what starts up and what services are running on your FreeBSD box. So we'll have a quick look at that. We won't go into it in depth. Have a look at the video that I've done. I'll list it up here somewhere. So let's go in etc and have a quick look. These are all the files there. These files control pretty much everything. There are some files that control what goes on while it's booting, and we'll cover them another time as well. So quick look, rc.conf. Here we go. I've got no send mail, which will be redundant at some point when the removal of send mail happens, scheduled to happen very soon. Setting up my hostname, my keyboard map, which probably could just be UK. Setting up my network stack. In this instance, it's DHCP, Dynamic Host Control Protocol. It's allowing SSH, which is Secure Shell Access. It's set up the NTP date and NTPD enabled. Dump dev auto and using ZFS. So these are the main things that are set up when booting, or after the initial boot phase has happened and it's passed on to the operating system. So there we go. Last thing to cover in this video would be two very basic commands, and that would be shutdown and reboot. Reboot I hardly ever use, but what I do use is shutdown -r now. So shutdown is telling the system to shut down. The -r tells it that it wants to be rebooted, and the now tells it when. So you could actually put a time on that. Quite simple. And reboot will just do a reboot straight away. So let's do a quick man page on shutdown, because there are other options. For instance, H, -H, which is halt. -P, which is power off. -R is reboot. And a few other options. There we go. And examples. Shutdown -R +30. System will boot. So you can put a little message as well. So anyone who's logged in, they'll get that message pop up and it'll shut down. So for now, I think we'll leave it there. I'll just do the shutdown as I would do it. -R now. And it will go. There you go. It's rebooting. Thank you for coming along and joining me on this learning FreeBSD course. It will start to get a little bit more involved now as we start to move along the commands and and what we can do. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you're learning, because I certainly am while I'm doing it. As always, don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe. Don't have to, of course. Be nice if you did. Discord server link down there. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.